Today we are going to learn how to develop advanced AI-based applications with the help of GPT-3. At the end of this video, you will be able to develop 5 basic applications which are product description, blog write-up, chatbot development, document search, and at the end we are going to learn about sentiment analysis. To do that, first you must know the basics. The basics are NLP, transformers, what is OpenAI GPT-3, what is playground, how you can use it for application development, what is its implementation in Python, and how you can fine-tune GPT-3 model. So let's start with NLP. NLP is just the analysis of any data that has language in it. It can be in the form of text or it can be in the form of speech. After that, the next thing is transformers, which are the most recent advancements and architecture in machine learning, and it includes self-attention. It is widely used in NLP. Its examples are all of the Hugging Face models and OpenAI GPT-3. So at the end, GPT-3 is a transformer-based application and architecture which is developed by OpenAI. Having said that, we are going to learn now about OpenAI Playground and how you can use that to develop your own custom application. Now we are going to talk about how you can use OpenAI Playground to develop your own applications. For that, the first thing you need to do is you need to open your browser, and then you are going to write beta.openai.com/playground. Okay, so Playground is an interface which is developed by OpenAI to show you how it works. Let's suppose if you want to do anything and you want to ask AI to write anything. Let's suppose you write here now we have written that you must write a blog on the following topic, and the topic is so we will write the topic and then we will click on the submit button, and then we have a blog that is written on advancements in AI. We can increase the length of this blog with the help of this maximum length button. This parameter changes the tokens to which the OpenAI can work. Other than the maximum length, other parameters that are present in OpenAI are temperature, which tells how many risks can be taken by the AI. Other than that, there are stop sequences, the penalty of the frequency, presence penalty, and how many answers it is going to give you. Other than this, there are a lot of built-in examples that are also present in OpenAI Playground. For that, we will go to examples. Okay, so in examples, as you can see, there are a bunch of examples. Out of these, I have already opened one or two of the examples. One of the examples is chat. So to develop a chatbot with the help of OpenAI Playground, what you will do is you will write the following is a conversation with an AI assistant. The assistant is helpful, creative, and clever, very friendly. And you will give it a sample requirement. Like human says, hello, who are you? And the AI says, I am an AI created by OpenAI. How can I help you today? And then you can ask something like, how is the weather? And then you can submit it before writing AI here. Then you can submit it, and the AI tells the weather is beautiful today, the temperature is perfect for a walk outside. So this is how it works. Because this was a chatbot and you need to have stop sequence on the word human and AI, so that's why I have written human and AI in the stop sequence here. Other than that, I only want one result out of this, so I have taken it to be 1, and it is not very much lengthy, so the maximum length here is 150. If I want to write a blog through this, then I'll have to increase this length. I'll do this and I'll show you how that works. Okay, so let me go back to our blog. Yes. Okay, so now when I click submit, it will write a complete blog. Now the blog can be positive or it can be negative, and its maximum sequence length was 256. We can change the length here to something like 1024, and that will increase the result that we are getting from the log. So now it is generating a bigger log than it generated before. And you can also enter stop sequence here. If I enter artificial intelligence AI here, then the words will stop at AI, and then we have to click submit again, and then it will start working again. Let's suppose I enter a word AI in this. So it is stopped here. Then I will click submit again, and it will start here again. So this is how you can use the stop sequences as well. This is a basic introduction to OpenAI Playground, and if we want to use this in our code, what we'll do is we will click on the view code tab, and here we have a complete Python code. We can also see the same code in languages such as Node.js, Curl, or JSON. So this is the basic infrastructure of OpenAI Playground, and now I will show you how you can develop applications with it and how you can develop simple Python applications which we discussed before. The first application that we are going to develop is product description for an e-commerce application. So for that, the first thing we need to do is we need to go to Playground and we need to see how that works first. Okay, so now that I'm in Playground, I'm going to paste an ad that I wrote. This says that write a product description for a company that sells online to run as a Facebook ad, and the product is ice cream, which is 100% milk based. So I will click submit here, and let's see what result is it gives. So it is giving us a result which is as of a maximum length of 106, and the risks and the temperature that it can take is up to 50%. Other than that, it is only going to give us one result, and there is no frequency and presence penalty present. The engine that we are using is Text DaVinci 002. We can use other engines of GPT-3 as well. Okay, so let's suppose if we want to develop this application in Python, what we will do is we will click on view code, and we will copy this code with all of these parameters. Okay, so after copying the code, let's click copy. After copying the code, the next step is to open Anaconda prompt. I have already opened it, and I went to the folder in which I want to open Jupyter Lab. So now I will just write Jupyter Lab here. To install Jupyter Lab Anaconda and all of the dependencies, you can refer to the video in the description. Okay, so there it is. It has opened a notebook. The first thing that you need to do is you need to import OpenAI. So let's click on this. After importing OpenAI, the second step is to open operating system. Let's click on that. After this, the next step is to give this Anaconda OpenAI API key. You can find that key from your login. So I have already inputted my key. Let's run this one. Okay, so after that, the last step is to paste the code that we took from the Playground. I will delete the excessive steps that are already being done. And now let's run this code and see what the result is. Okay, so it is running. After running that, the next step is to print the response to see what is the response that we are getting. Okay, so if we see the result, we can see that the result that we want is in the text box, but there are a lot of other things here that we do not want. To omit them, the next step is to print response, and then in response, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write choices here, because the first array is choices. Okay, so as you can see, now the things that were present after choices are all deleted. Now we have an object in which there is a JSON part, and after the JSON part we have all of these things. After this, the next step is to get out the zeroth part of the array. So to do that, what we will do is we will copy this and we will paste it here, and here we are going to write 0. Okay, so as you can see, we have got the JSON part out. To show only this part, what we'll do now is we will also write text at the end of this. Okay, so now we can see that our result is here, and it is as same as the result in the playground. So now we can use this result to do whatever we want. We can give it to a website or an application or anything at all. Okay, so for that what we can do is we can just give it to a variable and then use that variable later. This part will be covered in next video, how we will use this for web development. Okay, so this is the first application of GPT-3. Now we will talk about the second application, which was chatbot development. Now let's go to playground for our chatbot development part. Okay, so this is the application that we have seen before. In this application, what we have written is the following is a conversation with an AI assistant. The assistant is very helpful, creative and clever, and this is the question that human has asked, and this is the answer that was given. So after that I wrote a question, if you remember before. So what I'll do is I'll click on view code and I'll copy this code. After copying this code, I will go to my Jupyter lab and paste it here, and I'll delete all the excessive items. Now let's run this. So there we go, there we have it. Now we will run the response, and other code we have already written it, so we will not write it again. So this is the result that we are getting according to the question that we asked. So after this, what we can do is we can use a for loop to make this an iterative process for the development of chatbot. To do that, the first thing that we need to do is we need to enter another cell here, and we will input something called a query here. In the query, what we will give is we will give all of the prompt in this. Okay, so after doing that, we will delete it from our real command. And we will write query here. Okay, so let's run this again. It should give the same results. Let's print the response, and it is giving us the results. It's cloudy. So this is the result that we got. Now what we can do is we can change the query, and according to our query change, we can use this cell again and again to develop a chatbot. For that, what we need is our query should be input, and this should not be in our query. And other than that, we should be able to put all of this into a for loop and then run it. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so let's run this and let's see what happens. I have written QE. Let's just stop it and then write QE again. Okay, so let's run this. We can now ask it how is the weather, and it will give us a response. First, let's just make sure that our query is working fine. There we go. Now we have a string that has how is the weather. Okay, so after that, the second thing is we need to develop a function which has all of this data in it. So through that function, we can later develop our program. Let's run this start and stop sequence, and after that, let's write a function here named define. Let's suppose generate underscore response, and we are going to input query into this, and let's say that this will be our response, and at the end what we'll do is we will return that response. Actually, what is better is we just convert it and get the last result. So for that we will copy this and we will paste that into our function. Right after this, so a is equal to response choice is 0 text. As you know, what it will do is it will get out our response like this one. So let's return a at the end. Okay, so after that we need to take this in an upper cell. Let's take it somewhere like this and let's run this. So now we have made a function in which we will input query and we will get a response out of it. Okay, so after that what we will do is we will give it start and stop sequence. It can also be given before that. Let's give it before that. This is start and stop sequence and this is our function. So the next step is we need to give it query and get the response out of that. Okay, so this is the input of the query, and after that, okay, so for that what we will do is we will call the function with query. Let's write generate underscore response, and we will enter our query into this, and let's write a is equal to generate response and write print a. Okay, so we have already run that function. Now let's run query is equal to input and let's write how is the weather, and there we go, we will have this, and then let's run this cell. What it will do is it will run this function which will tell us what to do, and as you can see we have got a result which says the weather is beautiful. Okay, so we have asked it a question and it is giving us an answer. So what is the next step? Next step is that it should be an iterative process. To make it an iterative process, what we will do is we will write a loop for x in range. Let's take a range as our range as 10, and in this let's first put query in this, and after that let's write a is equal to generate response query, and at the end print a. Okay, if everything is fine, then it should give us the results that we are asking for. Okay, so let's run this and let's see what it gives us. So the first question is how is the weather? It is giving us a response that the weather is fine. And let's ask it another question, who are you? And it is telling I am a human being. So it will run 10 times. If we want to increase it, we can put it number n here, and then we can run it as many times as we want. So this is how you can develop a chatbot with the help of GPT-3. We can later use something like Flask to use a web page and develop chatbot in that. I will cover that in the next video, but for now let's move on to our next application, which is AI blog development. You can also have all of this code through in the GitHub, which will be in the description. The next application is blog development, which is a very easy application. To do that, you should open your playground and just write a blog on the topic of artificial intelligence, and then you should submit it, and let's see, it will give you a result, and it will not be more than 150 tokens, which is almost equal to 600 words. So what you need to 600 characters, sorry. What you need to do here is you need to increase it to something like 1000. That way it will generate a bigger and better blog. Okay, so if you view its code, it is very simple than the ones that we have used before. So let's copy it and let's go to our Jupyter lab. So we do not need any start or stop sequence now, and this function is not needed right now. Okay, so let's run the code and let's see what is the response. To do the response checking, what we need to do is we need to copy this response choices 0 text, and then we need to paste it here, and then we will print this. This is the answer that we got. This is the blog. We can even increase the maximum tokens to something like 2048 to get even more bigger response. Okay, so this is the result. So you can use this methodology to create your own blogs, and you can also enter start and stop words just like we did it in here into your blog, so that the words are not repeated. You can also enter the frequency and presence penalty to something like 0.5 and 0.5. What it will do is it will make sure that the words are not repeated as much. That way your blog will not be plagiarized, but its length will decrease. So that is how you can develop a blog. It was a rather easy application. At the end, now we have two difficult applications. The first one is document search and the last one is sentiment analysis. So let's start with sentiment analysis first. Now, okay, so let's start now with sentiment analysis. This is our last application. I have opened the playground and now I will tell you how you can perform sentiment analysis. Let's suppose if I write extract an opinion from the following. So now I will tell it one or two responses and then it will give me a result. I have already done that, so I will paste it here. So these are a few opinions that I have asked it to develop. The first one was, the sentence is, today the weather is very pleasant, so you can go for a walk, but the streets are not safe in this area. In this case, the positive aspect of this line is weather and walk, and the negative aspect of this line is area and streets. And if I want to give it one more example, what I'll do is I'll write hash 2 times. After writing hash 2 times, the next one that I gave is the idea behind story of the book was not very good. However, its ending was written very well. So as you can see from this sentence, what you can do is you can tell it that the positive aspect was ending and writing, and the negative aspect was idea and story. So idea and story, these are the negative aspects of this specific example. So I have written that, and after that I have put hash again, and then I am telling it tiger is a beautiful animal, however it is very dangerous. So let's see what OpenAI gives us as a result to this sentence. Okay, so as you can see, it has predicted very well that the positive parts are animal and beautiful, and the negative part is dangerous. So we can try something else as well, like let's give this one as an example also. The film was very good, very well written, let's suppose, very well written and crafted, or we can say that film was very well written, but the acting was not that good. So let's see what it says to that. The positive part was film and writing, and the negative part is acting. So this is how you can perform sentiment analysis through Playground. And if we want to develop a code for that, we can just click on view code and we can copy this. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to open the chatbot code, not this one. I'm going to open the chatbot code because it will be related to that. So we will be able to, let's copy the chatbot and let's paste it here. And after pasting it, let's rename it as sentiment analysis, and let's open that, and I'll change it to, because I forget it later, sentiment analysis. I will upload these codes on GitHub as well. Okay, so let's delete this. We already have this one, we already have discussed this one. Okay, so first of all, let's import the dependencies as always, and other than that, let's run the key. And now what we are going to do is we are going to give a lot of cap here, and we are going to delete this part, and we are going to check the response for this for this creation, which was the same as the result that we got. So we want the response from this one. Okay, so let's just run it first, and let's print the response. We have this snippet of code before that we developed in chatbot development. So let's just check the response first. So it is giving us a response that the writing and the filming was positive, but the acting was negative. So the next thing that we can do is, let me just let me just delete this one. So the next thing that we can do is we can convert it into a function, obviously just like before, and we can give all of this to a prompt or to a query, sorry. So let's write query here, let's write query here, and let's say that query is equal to all of this paragraph. from here to there, like this. Control C, Control V, and now we are all set to go forward. This is our query. Let's delete that. This is our query, and we are going to run this. So let's print query just for checking it. Okay, so this is giving us that this is the whole query that we have given it. So let's see what is the response to that query. So for that, before, let's run the same function as we did before. Okay, so before that, let's just delete the stop sequence from here, and let's make it like this. Copy these and paste them here like this. So our parameters are similar and we can get the same results. So at the end, what I am doing is I am returning A, which is the response. Okay, so now it looks good, it looks fine. So let's run this, and after that let's call that function and see what is the result of the query. So let's say that B is equal to this, and this will generate a response. And after that, what we can do is we can just print that response. I think now you will get a hang of it, how all of this is working. So you can develop any application that you want. These are just 5 sample applications, but you can develop 20 applications or 50 applications or whatever you want by using all of this that you have learned in this video. So we are able to get a response from here. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to be able to give it a query and then get a response in an iterative way, just like that. But the problem with that in our case is we need to give it this whole query. So the best way to do that is we can do fine-tuning of the GPT-3 model, which I'll be discussing in the next videos related to GPT-3, not right now. But another way is through intelligent prompting, as you can see. So what we'll do is we will take this whole query part and put it right here, and after that what I will do is I will delete the last question that was asked. So then when I do ask it for inputting of a query, then it will ask me to input something. I will enter the same thing that I asked before, or we can try something else. This city is pleasant to live according to its weather. However, this is not safe at night. So we are asking GPT-3 to give a result according to that. I don't remember the spelling of pleasant. I think it is A here, maybe. Okay, so now when I enter it here, this will be a complete query. So in the whole query, I will be able to enter all of the 2 or 3 ideas, and then ask it my question. So now I can just see what is the response. I would not recommend living in the city because it is not safe at night. Okay, so I think we did something wrong here, because it should give us a response in the way of sentiment. Let me see. Okay, so it is not picking up a query if it is written together. What we can try is, we have deleted the last sentence from the query. So let me run this, and what we can do is, we can take another variable a and take it as an input, and after taking input, we can write the same thing here, the same question. The film was very well written, but the acting was not that good. So we can enter it, and then what we can do is, we can add both of these strings. So let's see that query 2 is equal to query plus a. So let's print it to see what is the result here. So it is query 2. So this is query 2, right? And let's check the response with query 2. There we go. It is giving us a response that it is either positive or negative. So what we have done here is, we have made sure that you can enter a variable a and it will give you a solid result. So to do that, the next thing is, we can make it iterative by this process, of course, by adding a for loop. I have developed this code in the chatbot part of this video. If you have not seen that, then go to the chatbot part, which was, I think, the second or third application in the whole series. Okay, in the whole video, of course, it is in the same video. You can go to that part. Okay, so what we can do here now is, we can say that the query is something like this. We are going to copy this whole query and we are going to paste it here, and after that, in the same way as we have done outside, we are going to say that input another variable a, like this, and then write query 2 is equal to query plus query 1, so that both of these strings are added and generate a response on query 2. And then let's say that this variable is b, because a is already being used below. So b comes here, we take a b as an input, and then we add it with query. Okay, it looks fine. Let's run this. So let's copy the same question and let's enter, and then we have got a review here, and in the same way we can write another question and it will give us an answer, and then another. So this is the way that you can develop a sentiment analysis application. Let's suppose I tell it that the Apple mobile phones are very good, but they are also costly. So I hit enter here, and it is giving me a response that apples and phones is the positive aspect of this line, and cost is the negative aspect of this line. So this is how you can train your GPT-3 model to do semantic analysis. Okay, so let's see what we have done in this video until now. So these are all the projects these are all the projects that we have done until now. The first project was product description. It was a relatively easy project, and the second project was chatbot development. It is a very good project. You must look into that, and it is not that difficult, but it's a little trickier than the projects like product description and blog write-up. Okay, so the problem with AI document search is that the semantic search algorithm is not working with GPT now. So this will give you an error if you have any new sort of account. If your account is uh, you know made before June of 2022, then you can use this, but still you will only be able to use that until December. I'll make a video recording to this document search, how you can use newest topologies of GPT-3 for this work in the next videos. And after that, you have seen sentiment analysis. Through this you can do tweet analysis, or you can do anything you want. So these are the 5 advanced applications that you have developed, and other than that, I have told you everything about playground, and I have also told you about examples, and there are a lot of more examples here that you can try by your own to learn more about GPT-3. So GPT-3 powered applications are the future, as you know, and all of these applications can be developed very easily, but it takes a lot of time to fine tune them and get your results. So in the next video, we are going to talk about websites and APIs using GPT-3. But before that, there is another part that we are going to talk about in the next video, which is fine tuning. So that is the part that is left now, and we will talk about it later when we talk about this one as well. So maybe I'll make a video about fine tuning first and show you 2 or 3 of the same applications that I have done here. So I will try to do fine tuning for sentiment analysis, for chatbot, and for blog, or something like that. 2 to 3 applications with fine tuning to show you that the results are getting better. And after that, we can just move on to how to you can develop your own product or website, and as well as an API using GPT-3. So I think this is it for today. If you liked the video, you must subscribe and like our channel, as we believe in developing the content that helps everyone earn. Thank you very much. This is Shazeb Amin signing off.